Hello everyone, I'm Quentin, the maintainer of the Gluetun project. This video is about the v3.39.0 release of the program. I decided to do these videos to give more insights into the new features, new fixes, and various changes with each release of Gluetun. I will try to keep up with making a video for every release. Anyway, let's get started. So, feature-wise, I start with the features, the new things. Okay, so for OpenVPN users, the default version now, which changes from 2.5 to 2.6, you can still change the OpenVPN version environment variable from 2.6 to 2.5. The Docker file comes with both OpenVPN, just in case you have an issue, but the default is 2.6. Now, the base operating system of the Docker image, Alpine, is, so yeah, that one. It got upgraded from 3.18 to 3.20. We skipped 3.19 because the implementation of the IP tables program was very buggy and it would not work on many systems, especially older systems, I think with an older kernel. And yeah, so anyway, I tried everything to make it work, but it didn't. So we switched directly from 3.18 to 3.20. Next one, the health check. Okay, so before the v3.39 release, the health check would have a fixed timeout of 3 seconds for the dialing, the TCP dial that is done. So, okay, just to keep you up to date, I guess the health check, how it works is that it does a TCP dial to a target address. So by default, the target address is cloudflare.com colon 443. All right. So we just TCP dial, and if we manage to get a response of the dialing, we just close the connection. So we don't actually exchange any useful data with it. We just try to see if we can reach it. So that's the way we can find if the internet connection, well, the VPN connection is still working, right? If we can't reach it, then it times out, then it means the VPN connection doesn't work. So before that release, the timeout was fixed to 3 seconds, and we would try to dial for 3 seconds. If it would fail, we would wait 1 second and then try again for 3 seconds, etc. And then we would say, okay, well, the connection is not working. Now this is changed. It's a bit more clever. So the timeout is shorter initially. It's only 2 seconds. And then we don't wait if it fails. We don't wait 1 second before dialing again. We do it directly. We do another dial with a bigger timeout of 4 seconds, then 6 seconds, then 8 seconds, then 10 seconds, as shown here. Okay, so the reason for this is because in some setups, when the bandwidth of the VPN connection is under stress, for example, if you torrent many things at the same time and all your bandwidth is used by downloading, the TCP dial may take longer than 2 or 3 seconds. It may take maybe 5-6 seconds because, well, the whole thing is bottlenecked. So we've seen this happen. I've seen this happen in a few GitHub issues. So this is a way to mitigate this. So we can go around if it takes longer, or maybe the VPN server is further and it's really bottlenecked by the bandwidth. This should work now. Okay, next, the firewall. Okay, this is a bit of a requirement related to Alpine 3.20 because now the default IP tables implementation on Alpine 3.20 is the IP table -nft, where nft is the backend name of the IP tables implementation. And so now it queries both the older IP tables that was used before, called IP tables legacy, and the IP tables NFT, and it finds which one is supported by doing a few tricks to see if which one is the best, I guess, to use. And obviously, if both are supported, we prefer using IP tables-nft, which is the new variant. Yeah, so this is a bit like new features where you don't need to actually do anything, but it's a requirement to work properly on old kernels out there. Okay, next, WireGuard. So WireGuard persistent keep alive interval is a new option you can set. I recommend not setting it because if you set it man in the middle between Gluetun and the VPN server can find that you are using WireGuard because you're setting periodically, those keep alive packets. So they can understand that, well, using WireGuard. So I would recommend not setting it, but some people needed it for various reasons. So yeah, this got added. And the configuration file is read without case sensitivity. So it's about the keys in the configuration file. So let me show you. For example, back then, okay, so public key, blah, 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 that would work, right? But this is the official name, public key with a big P and a big K. But if you would change it to this, it would not find it, right? And that would be a big issue. Like, a lot of people would report issues. Oh yeah, my configuration file is not read properly and all that. And I would spend minutes and minutes and minutes figuring out why, and then figuring out, oh, it's because the K is lowercase, it should be uppercase. So anyway, so now it doesn't matter if it's a small K, a big K, or if this is a small P or big P. It will work anyway. So that is better for you guys and better for me as well. Less issues. Okay, now VPN port forwarding. This is a nice little addition for private internet access and Proton VPN users using port forwarding. If you set it with VPN port forwarding on, only port forwarding enabled servers are used automatically from the server's data. So you don't need to actually find the right, host names to set in your filters and all that. It's done automatically. All right, now we are digging more and more into provider-specific features. So fastest VPN, a lot has been done. Now there's WireGuard support. We use their API, their web API to get servers data instead of using the OpenVPN zip file, so that we can get better OpenVPN data, but also the WireGuard data that we were missing. As a consequence, because now we have, I think, a city field in every server, I added the city filter server city for fastest VPN, and obviously the server's data built in Gluetun was updated to the latest. Now perfect privacy. Sorry about that. There's port forwarding support. That was a bit of a funny one, by the way, where you get free forwarded ports. And they are calculated according to your VPN assigned IP address. So that was a bit of a funny implementation, but I mean, if it works for them, it works for us. So anyway, so that's done. Now private internet access. Okay, two new options. Keys got added. It's called VPN port forwarding username and VPN port forwarding password. Before that, it was OpenVPN user and OpenVPN password. Okay, the reason behind all this is that port forwarding for private internet access for this release as well, and before this release, obviously, was only supported natively with OpenVPN. With WireGuard, it was still a work in progress. So private internet access with WireGuard now supports port forwarding, but after the v3.39 release. So the reason I added these options is that when you use WireGuard, why the hell would you have to set OpenVPN user and OpenVPN password to authenticate with private internet access servers to get your port forwarded? So, okay, so this is our keys just to make sense. It's not really critical. It still works with the old keys. But if you use private internet access, WireGuard, and with port forwarding, you don't need to fiddle with OpenVPN user and OpenVPN password. You should fiddle with VPN port forwarding username and VPN port forwarding password. Okay, that was a bit of a long one. Sorry about that. Next, Proton VPN. Yay, we got WireGuard support, so that's great. We have new feature filters for servers. We have secure core only, Tor only, and port forward only. Not too sure why we have port forward only because now it's picked automatically, but yeah, maybe we'll remove it later. And also the free status, because there's also a free only filter. Now it's using the API tier value. So this is actually like accurate because before we would do some weird string manipulation and searching in the server name or server host name to find if it would be free or not, and that was like really not accurate. So we were missing a lot of free servers because they didn't contain the free word in the host name. So now it is actually accurate, and thank you for the users who helped me out figuring out how to calculate this value. And obviously we updated the server data because yeah, the previous server's data was a bit weird. Okay, and more servers data update for Surfshark and VPN secure. And finally, we have the VPN endpoint IP got split into two different ones. So OpenVPN endpoint IP and WireGuard endpoint IP. So the funny story here is that before that, I believe these were the ones, but and then they got merged into VPN endpoint IP until I realized that caused an issue where if you use for example, use both OpenVPN and WireGuard, and you use, let's say, OpenVPN, and then you change to WireGuard, but and then it will keep on trying to use the endpoint IP that you set for OpenVPN for WireGuard or something like that. Anyway, like there was an issue about this, so that's why it got split because yeah, it didn't make any sense. So now it's separate. Same thing for the ports. We have the one for the OpenVPN protocol and the one for the WireGuard protocol. And that's it for the features. Now on the fixes. Oh, this is an important one for port forwarding people. So the VPN port forwarding listening port, where basically it redirect. Yeah, I think redirect. It redirects the traffic that is received on the actual port forwarded port on a port of your choosing that you can specify with this option. This is now fixed. So before it was there, but it was not working. So I'm deeply sorry about this, but yeah, it's fixed. Now, yeah, IPv6 sometimes was detected as supported. Although it was just the loopback route, which and sometimes okay, this is still flimsy, but now it is better because it ignores loopback route destinations, and if it sees a route that is going to the outside world and is IPv6, then it will say, oh yeah, we definitely support IPv6. Otherwise, it assumes you don't support IPv6. So I think it's a bit more reliable. For the custom provider, so the port option was not handled before. You had to use the remote option. So this works now. It's fixed. It also ignores comments in an OpenVPN configuration file, with the little hashtag signs prefix. And also it assumes port forwarding is always supported by a custom server, because sometimes people have port forwarding set up on their OpenVPN server, and before that release, Gluetun would assume, no, you can't do that. Like, the custom server does not support port forwarding. So now it assumes it's always supported. Okay, now for VPN Unlimited, yeah, somehow the UDP port changed from 1194 to 1197. I'm not sure why, but yeah, that's how it is. And we allow the user to specify the TCP OpenVPN port to be 1197. I think the default, I'm not going to search for it, but the default it still works, but they have this option as well on another port for some reason. Anyways, moving on. Okay, so private internet access, WireGuard, and port forwarding. So in this case, this is still using the custom provider, and actually, yeah, we are still using the custom provider still today, actually. So this is a little fix where it sets the server name. It's a bit of a workaround, I guess. If you need to set what is it called? Let me search. Server names. Yeah, you need to set the server name for private internet access here. Only one of them, and with the custom provider with a private internet access WireGuard configuration, and then you can set the port forwarding to private. Where was it? Port forwarding. Yeah, you need to set a VPN port forwarding provider to private internet access, and so a bit of pain in the ass. It's documented in the wiki, all right, but now it sets the server name so that you can authenticate correctly with the private internet access servers to get your forwarded port correctly if you want to use WireGuard with the custom provider. Anyway, it's really complicated, but it seems like a lot of people are using it. So So it's mentioned. Private VPN. Okay, so there are no hostname servers and from their API or whatever, I think, and I don't remember that actually. Now sets OpenVPN, VPN type. Yeah, I guess they don't specify the VPN type, so it assumes it's OpenVPN, and that seems to work. Okay, Torground. So the OpenVPN configuration was changed a bit. Um, so we added two more ciphers, the AES-128 GCM and the CBC variant ciphers, and we removed a bunch of options, all these options that were not part of the OpenVPN configuration files we have today. I mean, at least a month ago. Um, so, so yeah, this got removed because there's no need for them. Okay, now we have for VPN secure as well. Before that, it would add servers with n-a, uh, and and that meant there was no data. So now it understands n-a and don't add it to the server file, right? Just ignore it. So AirVPN, the MSS fix got changed to 1292. I think we did not set it before, but the reason there's a whole discussion about this, it's because on some setups it would cut packets in the wrong way and the connection would drop from time to time. So anyway, now it looks like it's more reliable and people are happy. So yeah, that got changed. Um, for Surfshark, some outdated uh, outdated hard-coded retro servers got removed. So it's because I manually added some servers and they were from the old days, maybe 4 years ago, and they were no longer working. So I removed a bunch of them. Now for the public IP echo service, this is to give you your IP address once you connect the VPN. It gives you, the IP address with the country and all that. Yeah, the IP2 location, because you have two providers, you have IP info and IP2 location, and the passing of the latitude and longitude got fixed. Before that it was wrong for some reason. My fault. Anyway, and okay, this is a bit of an important one, I guess, because it was causing a lot of troubles here and there. Is to abort the trying to fetch the IP data if the VPN fails. So once the VPN is up, for example with WireGuard, all right, like the VPN is up, but we don't know when WireGuard is actually up. So we try to get the IP data, and obviously this fails if the WireGuard connection is not working. But WireGuard is not going to say, "Oh, I'm not working," right? It will just because it's a silent protocol. So in this case, we just abort it, and before we would not. So that means if the WireGuard connection would fail and then fail again, then fail again, then fail again, like fail 4 times, and then succeed the 5th time, then on the connection of the 5th one, we would get 5 times the fetching of the public IP address printed in the logs. That was causing other funny failures. Anyway, so that's fixed. Okay. Okay, wait. So this is for the control server over there. OpenVPN root status get and put. Oh, okay. Yeah, these are fixes for the OpenVPN root. All right. So yes, because before, if you would run WireGuard, the OpenVPN root would say, "Oh, I'm running," although you were running WireGuard. So that was really confusing. So now it returns stopped if you are running WireGuard, and if you want to update the state with a put request, it will change. It will stop the WireGuard VPN client and start the OpenVPN client. Okay, now that was missing. So now we log out in the tree of settings if you have set port forward only. That also for the log before it would log the release, the last release tag by date and not by name. So for example, if I do a release, say v3.38.1 after v3.39.0, Gluetun would think the last release was v3.38.1. So now it's fixed, so it will understand the Semver versioning and know what is the last version, and not by date, by name. And then other little fixes, format savers. We have the VPN type header, such as for the NordVPN and Surfshark when they support WireGuard and OpenVPN. And yes, so for the tunnel, we only create the tunnel device if it does not exist. Do not create it. Do not create it if it exists and does not work. Yeah, because sometimes the tunnel device would be there, but it would be messed up for some reason, and we'll try to create it on top of it. So that would create like a weird log message. So now this logic is fixed. And that's it for the fixes. Now documentation, this is pretty quick. So the README, we clarify the ShadowSox is a proxy, is a server, not a client, because some people think we can connect Gluetun to ShadowSox servers, but no, it has a built-in ShadowSox server you can enable if you want to connect ShadowSox clients to Gluetun, but not the other way around. And yeah, the list of providers supporting WireGuard with a custom provider got updated. Proton VPN now is a new custom port forwarding implementation. So I think there's also, maybe I forgot that, but there's also a perfect privacy which I mentioned. So that is PIA, Proton VPN, and also perfect privacy. I don't think there's really a need for perfect privacy because they don't support WireGuard, I think. Yeah, GitHub blank issues got disabled because a lot of people would just create blank issues, and I want my version strings and I want all my details for issues. Otherwise, it's a waste of my time and a waste of their time. So this got disabled. Yeah, the Ghost Splash. This is the little how do you call this? The little the start of the logs. You know, when you see oh, you want to create an issue, do you want to get help, help me, blah blah blah. This is a little library I wrote, and this got updated to a new version, so that you have the link for the issues sends you to the template issues. So for example, if you click on new issues, you see over there you have the choose. It's a bit tiny, I guess, but you have the choose suffix, so you can choose one of the template here, and it doesn't. If you remove the choose suffix, then you are go to the blank issue over there. So that's not what we want. So by default, it is with the choose suffix in the path right there. We added some GitHub labels and oh yeah, this one is an important one. Okay, last bit I'm saying, then the video is over. So firewall _ enabled was meant for debugging, pretty much for only me basically, but when I ask people to use it, but it was not documented anywhere. It's not even written in the Docker file. It's really hidden, and some people would say, oh yeah, like, oh, my VPN doesn't work, look, I disabled the firewall and now everything is beautiful. And I'm like, no, it's not. Like, all your traffic is leaking. Oh god. Anyway, so I had this case too many times, and always telling people, don't do this, you're leaking all your traffic outside your VPN without any insults, but I really wanted to say, you idiot, so anyway, so now I renamed this, so firewall enabled won't do anything anymore, but I renamed it to firewall enabled disabling it shoots you in your foot, okay, so that people stop using it, because and if they use it, well, it's fine with me, like, shoot yourself in the foot if you want, but yeah, so it was really misused. And yes, the name, the key name, there's not even documentation, it's not documented anywhere, but don't use it, all right, please don't use it. And yeah, that's it. Quite a bit of maintenance here and there, but nothing very important for anyone, I think. Yeah, yes, that's pretty much it. All right, and well, thank you for listening, and I hope that was not too painful to watch. And I will shortly do a v3.39.1 release with some fixes only. And yeah, I will see you around. Thanks. Bye.